Welcome to Velocity Tuning. Behind me I have our M5 shop car, and today's video is about tuning, but not engine tuning. No, this is about tuning the gearbox. So when we think of tuning, we think of power, we're always fixated on the engines. But did you know there's tons of improvement to be made on the gearbox as well? 0 to 60s, quarter miles are heavily affected by how your gearbox is working. It doesn't all come down to the engine alone. Now this box is not actually out of an M5, as you may tell from the bell housing, it's smaller. This is out of a G80 M3, and it's something that I've put aside in case we go for more power in the future on that platform. But just so you guys get to have a look at what the gearbox actually looks like, we've got one, so I thought I may as well show you. So when it comes to tuning these, what are we actually doing? Well, we've got shift times, we've got clutch pressures, we've got RPMs, we've got launch control limiters as well, and how many times you can actually launch the car. There's variables throughout the whole software that get adjusted. Now, there are different alternatives out there when it comes to gearbox mapping, but by having a gearbox map that is suited to the engine tune, they can work in harmony together. And that's why we actually took the time to develop a gearbox map for this M5. The more time and effort you take on your work, and the better you understand your tools and the item in front of you, the better the end result's going to be. So with engine tuning on these, yes, we have built the engines. We've tried different turbos and injectors and race fuels, and we've seen them go all around the world and be used in a multitude of different scenarios. So in the end, we're really happy with what we're able to offer customers, and we know that we understand the components that we're working with. With the gearboxes, we wanted to be able to offer that as well. So we actually got some help, and that was in the name of Sutphin Tuning. Sutphin Tuning is one of the biggest names out there for BMW gearbox tuning, and he was able to help us. So on this particular car, the gearbox tuning is velocity tuned. It is something that we have created in-house, but that wouldn't have been possible without Sutphin Tuning. He helped us in the early steps to point us in the right direction, so we knew the correct changes to make to be able to end up with the result that we've got now. Why do I mention this guy? Because he deserves a shout out. So not only did he help us with this car, but on our G80 M3, he actually done all the tuning on that platform. So if you've got an M5, you will get a velocity gearbox map from myself. But if you've got an M3, it won't be a velocity gearbox map. It will be a Sutphin Tuning map. So that's a company that we've worked with for a while, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't mention them also. So with the M5s, how does it work? If you're not tuned by us, if you're not running a velocity tuning map, reach out to Sutphin Tuning. He will give you exactly what you need. If you are velocity tuned, then that's all done in-house. It is a unique map that I have created for your car, so you can have it set up to work perfectly with our engine tuning, and depending on whether you're on a forced engine or stock engine, or you're racing it for quarter mile or high speeds, we're able to give you the exact package that you need. Let's talk about performance. When it comes to the times that people are doing, whether it's quarter mile or 100 to 200 or whatever you like, people will always work that out to a rough brake horsepower to say, oh, that looks like that's a 700 brake car, or that's an 800 brake car. That's what them times look equivalent to. But did you know that with our gearbox mapping, once we went over to our own one, we actually got faster on the 0 to 60, the quarter mile, and the 100 to 200. So this car on race fuel actually runs a 4.8 100 to 200. Before that, it was a 4.9, and to be exact, it shaved 0.15 off of that time. When it came to the 0 to 60, we actually managed to drop that down as well. So that was a 2.4 on race fuel. We've now got that down to a 2.3. So there's a lot of improvements that you can actually see just in terms of racing by having our gearbox map. And that's coming from a car that was already running gearbox software. That wasn't even stock before that in terms of gearbox. These gearboxes have a 100 launch control limit on them as well. So once you've done over 100 launch controls, it will still go into launch control, but the shifts are a lot slower and they're not so snappy as they were before. That's something that a car like this can't have, because like I say, on development, we've done over 100 launches anyway. So that was another part of the gearbox mapping that was important for us, and we're moving that limiter out the way. There's other little bits as well, like the RPM at which it shifts at each gear has been set up to perfectly work with this gearbox and with the engine tuning. So instead of just taking it around to 7,000 RPM or shifting it at 6-8 every gear, we've set it up so that the ratio between each gear is perfectly set. So as you change gear, you're at the perfect RPM to get the fastest times. We had a customer with a built engine but stock turbos, up on officially gassed. He had our engine and gearbox mapping. He actually raced against a 1,000 brake GTR, and not only was he beating it, he felt brave enough to load the car up with people. Here is a clip of that.
No way! Jesus! 0.5 to 60! Fucking hell! Wallop, mate!
You may be thinking, how do I get this gearbox map then? Well, for those of you that get our Stage 2 packages, it comes free with that. For those of you that we do remote tuning on, we're able to provide that to you as well. All you need is a laptop and an Ethernet cable, and we're able to flash that from anywhere in the world. There we have it. When it comes to tuning, don't forget about your gearbox. Unless you've got a manual, then you just need to have a fast arm. But for you guys with autos, there's tons of time that can be picked up with having a gearbox tune that accompanies and benefits your engine tuning. If you've liked the video, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and hopefully I'll have another one out for you soon.